Okay, it's May 6th, 6:08 PM. We're starting the Economic Development Committee meeting for May.
Sorry.
We'll start with a roll call. Jerry?
Jerry Schaefer.
Tom Rudliff.
Susan Marcus?
Kirk Brown.
And Randy Apuzzo.
Mike Gaggus, and,
Brian Wagner for the planning department.
all right.
Thank you, Brian.
Okey-doke. So, any correspondence or public comment?
I have none.
Okay. Um,
What about approval of minutes? Do we have?
Oh,
any?
I'm sorry, I missed approval of minutes. So the minutes are, Brian sent them out with the agenda here. Is there a motion or discussion about the minutes?
I have not, so I cannot say.
I didn't read them either.
They look very thorough.
We did go through a lot of things, I believe.
So I motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No.
As you're reading, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and motion- they're accepted?
All right.
All right, on to old business. Okay, Old Tower Hill Road form-based code, review of the 4/9/2026 presentation to the town council. Did you want to provide some feedback, Brian, or you want us to?
No, I mean, this is really for you to talk about any impressions you left with or things that you might want to, continue working on. We are still efforting to get the completed ordinance done through the consultant, which is what the council asked us for, so
Yeah.
we don't have that quite yet.
And
Well-
was there a follow-up meeting scheduled too, or no?
No.
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 So the next thing that's likely going to be is that we get all of those revisions into a final draft.
Okay.
It'll go to the planning board. The planning board will vote on its advisory recommendation, presumably to support the ordinance as written, and then it would go to the council. The first time it goes on the agenda will be for the council to issue the clerk an order of notice to advertise it. And I forget whether it's a 2 or 3 week advertising period. I think it's a 2-week advertising period. Then it would come back to the council for a full public hearing, which could be as short as one meeting, or it could span over multiple meetings, depending on what happens.
So there will be a public meeting
There will be a public hearing.
after,
Okay.
It's a zoning
They're-
change.
They're voting to amend the town ordinance, so
Right.
there's a public hearing on it.
Okay,
Well, I have some things to say.
I do as well.
all right.
I'll try to
Ladies
be,
first.
I'll try to be as positive as I possibly can. I thought a couple of the property owners who came and were more or less concerned about some of the issues spoke up in a way that was constructive and allowed for, I thought their comments, except for the lawyer who represented one property owner,
Right.
but their comments invited consideration, some things for the planning department to consider.
Yeah.
They were land use, the question was, what land use listings or whatever are gonna be
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
What's the level at which if one is making renovations, what's the level at which these codes are gonna kick in? Those were things that I thought, they should say. And I was really impressed, except for the lawyer, that they were there to talk about how to make the code work.
Yeah, compromise.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were there. And I thought it was really too bad that they didn't speak up first, so that the town council, which had apparently not quite read the document, could have asked, could have considered some of those things, because I thought those things needed consideration. So,
Very good.
other people will say other things, but those are two things I wanted to say.
I really have some questions about the renovation, threshold
Right.
point and how that works. I didn't really understand it at the meeting, but maybe we can tell us a little bit more about that.
As proposed, it was 10% of the current value of the property.
Right.
So that's pretty restrictive.
Assessed value.
Yeah.
Is it assessed value or?
I think,
Yeah.
was it
Market
assessed or
value.
just current value? Maybe it was
I
assessed,
think it has to be, it can't be current value, it has to be some.
because they'd go get an
Yeah, the
estimate,
government doesn't really have real values.
Yeah.
So,
so that's even more restrictive.
but let's talk about it now then. But when Jamie was explaining it, he was talking in square footage.
Yes.
So is that the metric? You have to hit a threshold, and I thought that if you were under the threshold, then you could do that modification and not have to conform to the code.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's,
The way Jamie explained it, I thought that if you would have to do that additional like 20% according to the code, and it just didn't.
No, he didn't, no, he
I
didn't say
didn't
that.
quite understand
What it
he was saying.
was,
Yeah.
my understanding. So again, grain of salt. I was just trying to interpret it based on the document that we were given and the presentation that we had on that day. If you're under the threshold, it doesn't have to conform to the code. It can be to the old standards.
Right.
If it's above the threshold, under a certain percentage, only the addition needs to conform to the
Right.
code.
That's
Was
right.
what he was saying. So if you
If
let's
it's
say
over the threshold.
yeah, if let's say
Ah,
the
I
threshold is
see.
10%, if you do a
Okay.
20% addition, that new 20% needs to be all to code. But we're not telling you have to destroy your whole building and make the entire building to code.
yep, but
The part that's over the threshold has to
be to code.
conform to the new,
Yeah.
not the
But
part.
how do you
that
do
you're
that?
allowed up to the
So,
threshold.
but
Okay.
again, it's confusing because you can imagine situations where you can't fully conform to the code because the addition is like too far back from the street or something like
yeah,
that.
or you have to put the parking lot in the back, so that
Exactly.
makes no sense.
I understand, but that's what I was understanding
Yeah.
the planner to be talking about in that meeting. Is that anything over that threshold, it still doesn't require you to demolish your whole building. It just says that the new part needs to be
In
somehow
conformity.
conforming
Yeah,
to
and so
whatever.
it might not have to conform, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe it wouldn't have to conform to the parking or to something else as long as it
Might just be the
conformed to some-
facade, or, yeah.
But
some
all to
other
say, this
thing.
isn't the first time that someone has told me that that was very confusing.
Yeah, right.
And that it could be clearer in both the documentation and the presentation.
Well,
And so I think that's a very fair
From the
pushback.
comments that we heard from the public and from the council.
Yeah.
I think that that is a portion that we have to do better on.
Yeah.
So that will be something that we will be very focused on.
Good, that's very good.
Grandfather clause word makes sense here, as if it's
That's-
over.
Well, that's what this is.
Well, that's what we're
Yeah,
talking
this is
about.
a sort of
That's
grandfather
essentially-
clause where
it
the
is.
old building
And
is
what-
grandfathered in, but the new addition wouldn't be.
Got it. And was it explained that way? Or?
No, well, grandfather,
I am trying
Grandfather
to
wasn't used,
interpret. I am trying to interpret what the presentation was there,
No, I get you, but
and most people did not come away from that meeting with my understanding.
But people generally favor the grandfather
Yes.
aspect, right? So then using that terminology.
oh, yeah,
It's a
but,
question
It
of
can
when
help
does it
people
trigger?
understand.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, how much are you allowed to do without conforming with the new code? And
Honestly, I think that's gonna be the
Yeah.
only concession you can make would be maybe to make it
yeah.
percent of market value rather than assessed value, because now you're way,
Well, no, they can do.
Or you could up the assessed value to make it.
I'm just saying that's.
Equivalent, yeah.
In other words, it's, or you could goose the percentage a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
you
Yeah,
could
that's
change
all.
the
Would be another
percentage.
way to do it,
Yeah, you
but
could
Say
change the
20%
percentage.
instead of
There are
10.
lots of different things you
Yeah.
could do.
Some places do it by square footage. So if you have a 100,000 square foot facility, if it's 20%, you can renovate up to 20% without the new code kicking in.
Yeah.
So that's another way of doing it. You don't, then you don't get into the argument about the value. It's square footage.
Yeah.
all right,
You can get a tape measure and measure it.
cool. So,
So I feel
else?
like if we sorry.
Susan, these aren't your keys, are they?
Oh, they might well be. Thank you very much.
Are they?
Yes, they are. It would be hard to get home
Oh,
without them.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, I'm sure you would have figured it out, but I didn't want you to worry.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, sorry. All I was just gonna say was certainly clarification is necessary in this case, and maybe I don't know if it would be helpful if we offer like a direction of clarification that maybe like makes sense to us, that maybe the business owners would appreciate, whether it was like square footage idea or just sort of like upping the percentage or something along those lines.
10% is really tight. I can,
Yeah.
if I were a business owner, I'd probably be saying like, look, you're really strangling me. 20%, you know, if I want to do some minor renovations, it gives me up to 20%. You know, after 20, you start to get into, come on, you're doing pretty major renovations. So, you know, whether it's 18%, 20, maybe even 25 at maybe the outside. I think that's a variable they can look at, and it would take some of the sting, I think, away from the property owners.
Right.
Yeah, and it would address their real concerns, which they brought forward at that meeting.
Yeah.
And so maybe we, as a body, can recommend that to the powers that be.
You know, I think the property owners are, at least some of them are arguing on almost a legal principle of, it's my property, I have a right to do what I want with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes against the whole idea of codes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but
that-
Which
I
was
didn't-
which was
I
my
didn't-
comment
No.
at the meeting.
I didn't hear that
No,
so much.
no, not,
Only from
this is
one.
outside the meeting.
Oh.
I
Okay,
heard.
sure.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know, look, Larry, we know Larry, don't love Larry. He seems to be one of the spokesmen for the property owners.
Right.
And I was just wondering, you know, is it something we could sit down with them and hash this thing out a little bit? Because if they're gonna argue on the principle of, it's my property, I can do what I want, well then, you know, then somebody can put in a used parking lot and have old engines out there. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So, so I think that's a flimsy argument, but I think that's one of the basic points they're arguing on
Yeah.
to the town council.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting we should talk to Larry?
I was just putting it on the table of, yeah, basically, yeah, I'm willing to do
He's not
that.
suggesting that you talk to Larry.
No,
I mean, I've
yeah,
talked-
well,
I've
that would be
talked
the
to
best solution.
I've talked to Larry a lot, and he usually comes away, you know, he seems to be more or less in agreement. I've been really surprised to hear what he's been saying.
And I haven't heard anything directly from
I
him.
haven't either.
But
I
It's
talked
on
to him
telephone.
directly. I talked to him directly about
you
it.
did?
He's in favor of it. He thinks the property owners are correct.
but he's in favor of what?
He's in favor of allowing them to, making it not mandatory.
Yeah,
Okay,
right,
gotcha,
right.
yeah.
Not making it mandatory.
Yeah.
He thinks that's ridiculous. He said, they asked the consultant, he was at the meeting with Mrs. Costanza. They asked the consultant, has anybody else done this, made it mandatory? And they said, this is Larry speaking, 19 out of the 20 that they've done wasn't mandatory, you know, which I don't think is correct.
No,
but-
That's not my understanding.
No.
Wasn't my understanding either, but that's what he said. And when I saw him at the CVS, he said, hey, you still talking about that? Yeah, we are. He goes, is it mandatory? I said, yeah.
This mandatory, this semantic thing of mandatory versus voluntary, that
Yeah.
was such a waste of time.
Well,
Optional,
Irritated me.
whatever the,
not so
It
much.
seemed to go back and forth a little
All
bit.
right,
yeah,
so,
that was crazy.
But you
so-
did say that in the mandatory, there's a lot of options within that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, if
that's
it's
right.
mandatory with the grandfather clause, to Randy's point,
Yeah.
that's optional, right? You don't have to do anything. You can sit tight and you don't have to do a dang thing,
You know,
right?
don't have to plant a single tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That was a concern that we are working to rectify, is that a lot of people had some misconceptions of what it meant to be a non-conforming property.
yeah,
Some people were being told that they wouldn't be allowed to sell their property, or that
if it burns down, you can't.
if it burns down, they
Yeah.
wouldn't be allowed to.
so
rebuild the
clarifications could
property.
go a long way.
So we've
Yeah.
already put together sort of a one-page document on what it means to be non-conforming, and all of those things are not true. You can sell the property,
Yeah.
and the next owner can continue to
Be non-conforming.
be non-conforming.
Okay.
If it burns down, our ordinances provide that you can rebuild what was there within the existing footprint, and even allows some level of expansion without having to comply to current code requirements. There is a limited amount of, typically you're not allowed to expand a business that is non-conforming by use,
Yep.
but there are some limited abilities to expand that. You're not allowed to physically expand something that is non-conforming by dimension.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can't expand the portion of the building that's non-conforming, so if you have one side that's a setback,
Oh, okay.
that's non-conforming, you can't expand towards that side. You can expand in other directions,
Oh, okay.
or you can expand up. You just can't get closer to the setback, this lot line.
Gotcha.
So there is wiggle room in how non-conformances are dealt with.
Yeah, and maybe in another presentation, those examples could be shared, and it would alleviate some of these concerns where there's specific examples of like, this kind of variance would work in this specific way. You know, like the selling of property that's non-conforming would be a really good example to like bring up preemptively before the question is asked.
I'll share the one-page sheet that I put
Okay.
together with you by email.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, at a future meeting, I'm just saying if the planning department is trying to express some of these changes, like, that sounds like a positive
Yeah,
one.
no,
to
that's
bring
something
up.
that we're putting together to go to the council. so
Exactly,
that
yeah.
They understand, what it means.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, because the 36 page or whatever document.
And the original was
90,
90 pages.
yeah.
90, it's a very long.
It's not consumable. I mean, the town council gets so much stuff to review and look at.
Mhm.
Like, you gotta
Yeah.
give it to them.
Yeah, but all you have to do, frankly, is look at the pictures. It'll take you 5 minutes. Really,
It's
seriously.
it's
That
really-
tells the whole damn story.
Yeah, so maybe we make an abridged picture book.
Yeah.
Making a cartoon book.
Yeah.
So,
The other thing that I think we need, although I gave up my talking turn, is I think we need some of the people who came to the charrette
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk to the town council, to whisper in their ears. There were a lot of people at that charrette that was very busy. Lots of people from town who were very interested and excited about this. And apparently, they don't, they aren't speaking to the town
but their voice was there.
where.
Ugly.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Parking
count.
lot.
Yeah, in the
That doesn't-
presentation.
That
Please.
doesn't, I know, but that doesn't count. When it comes to people who phone the town council.
All they seemed to be interested in was getting right to the optionality. Let's make that
Yeah,
work.
Well, here's what I think, okay? Mike Marin asked me for the document that you guys put together
Yep.
in 2018. It was available.
Yeah.
It is asking for exactly the same thing that this proposal is talking about.
Yep.
And
Why have I guess you're saying in the face, why have you guys changed your mind?
Yep.
What's the problem here?
I was gonna say, and Larry was the head of that. He made the presentation to the council.
I know.
Exactly.
So,
I know.
you know,
It's all optics, it's the presentation.
Well, Larry's,
I'm not trying to make them the bad guys.
some things we have to talk about offline, but I think there's some shenanigans there with Larry. But I think the town council got there ahead of time and said, let's flush out this mandatory thing, okay? It's the showstopper here. But, and Mrs. Costanza's lawyered up. Larry told me she's going to sue, okay?
Well,
Okay,
So-
on what grounds, though?
Good luck.
On
Yeah.
property value, property owners have the right to do whatever they want?
I don't know what she's gonna,
That's gonna go
hey,
far.
Well, don't worry about what she's gonna.
she's got a lawyer, and,
Yeah.
and I'm not the only person who believes this. Larry isn't either.
Yeah, well,
okay?
so let her to
So,
Yeah.
Brian's
so
point,
here's-
whether
Yeah.
the grounds.
here's the
are-
evil.
There would be two grounds for suing. One, that the town council somehow failed to follow proper procedure in adopting the ordinance.
yeah,
The other would be that the ordinance is somehow unconstitutional.
Right.
But zoning has been
Yeah.
recognized as a
Exactly.
constitutional act by both the state and US Supreme Courts
Yep.
for decades.
There it is.
She has no grounds to sue,
Yeah.
however.
even if she has a lawyer.
Yes.
I'm gonna
And-
say we should move away from this topic.
Why?
Stay on this topic, but move away from this portion of this topic. Let's leave that as it is.
Yeah,
Let's
people
have
are
a-
allowed to do what they want to do. That's
Yeah, it
fine.
doesn't matter. Let's talk about what actionable things.
Yeah, what can we do to make it
So
better?
wait a minute, okay? Hear me out,
Mhm.
okay? I gave the example there at the meeting. If it's mandatory, it's dead. Okay, so if she's trying to take the mandatory clause out of this, okay, it kills the proposal for the entire town,
Yeah, take the teeth
okay?
out of it. Sure.
Because the example that they give in the book, in the report, is a 3/4 acre piece of property. Somebody invests $20 million in that piece of property, okay, and they get a $30 million piece of property in return.
Yeah.
You're gonna put down $20 million when somebody next door, preserving their rights to, continue to expand their gas station, to, keep a big ugly parking lot next door to you, it's dead. So if that's the motivation here, then it's despicable, in my opinion.
But code, I mean, the code that's there is mandatory. The commercial, right
no.
now.
The current-
The
Right,
existing
Exactly.
code
the
is
existing
mandatory.
code
Yes.
is mandatory.
Right. There's
Commercial-
guidelines. This is what you
Commercial
can do.
highway code is mandatory. We're talking about replacing the current mandatory code with a different mandatory
Yeah.
code,
Correct.
which allows for that area to be moved from the 1960s into the 21st century.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so it's all mandatory. That's what drove me
So-
crazy about the discussion of mandatory.
And that's the best way to present it,
Hey.
what you just said.
I got no issue.
It's- it's
I mean,
all-
that's
all
pretty simple,
Code,
the way you
code
just
is-
said that.
Code is mandatory.
From my perspective, and I tried to express this at the meeting there on the
It is
9th.
now. You
I
can't.
tried to
you
express
can't-
that what's
you
really
have to
happening is
follow
we're horse
this
trading.
is now.
You've got the existing code, and we're trading it for this new code,
Yeah.
and there's
Anyway.
pros and cons.
So.
And that was all I was trying to get at.
So I think lesson learned might have been to understand a little bit more about what the council was doing, what they were trying to flush out
Yeah.
and so forth. We were in the dark about that. And,
How could we have known, right?
Right.
And we
Yeah, they don't
had,
communicate with us,
I
yeah.
believe, I went into that meeting knowing the town council has a whole lot on its plate, but thinking that after the however many years we have been discussing this thing, they might have read the document. But I was wrong.
Remembered the presentation.
They might have, you know,
Well, even the
But-
planning board presentation was similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know. So anyway, I agree. I mean, I think this, I think we ought to try to get, I personally think each of us ought to think about one person who was at the charrette, who was in favor of it, and ask them to call a town council member.
I was gonna ask the sentiment, from what I understand, there is one, or maybe more, town council members that are very not in favor of this.
Yeah. My
Majority.
I thought there were two.
my read
not.
was 3 that were pretty strongly opposed.
Yeah.
So
Who-
then,
that's it.
how did this pass if council's not on board?
Well, that's the thing is I think Susan's point is how do we influence town council to see that the voters are behind this, and so politically it might not be a good thing to be against. Is I think
Yeah.
the idea that you're
Yeah.
posing, not to put words in your mouth.
No, that's right. I mean, I think they're up for reelection
Yeah.
in November.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I think they've got a lot of, they're listening to
Yeah.
a couple of people. I think they should listen to a couple more people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They ought to.
Just from my limited perspective, I wrote 2 letters, okay, the last one was pretty aggressive. But I expected there to be some response in terms of people saying you're crazy, or I object, or I agree. Dead in the water. I think the average citizen just thinks of code, I've got better things to think about.
Yeah.
And it's not on their radar screen. They don't understand it. They haven't even opened the link up. As I say, just to look at the pictures. The pictures say, wow, look what this could look like. You don't have to get into the gory details. I don't think they've done that. So the average person just looks at it like, it's a bureaucrat fighting.
so,
I watched this on YouTube twice. What was the audience? Was there a lot of people? I only just saw up to you guys
Oh.
in front.
It
Was
was,
it crowded?
it was a fair amount of people. It wasn't full, like it wasn't standing room only or anything, but I would say maybe like half the seats, or like a third of the seats.
And I would say the audience was pretty much in favor. Even the people.
Yeah.
Even the people who came with some concerns were there to talk about their concerns, to try and get them addressed, not
Yeah.
to say answers.
Right.
Yeah, if you watch the
Yeah, they
meeting
wanted
online,
answers,
They
not.
wanted answers.
they asked
didn't-
questions,
Yeah.
but they were willing to work within what was being offered. Yeah.
But my take was that the optional or mandatory was the big rub,
Yeah, but that was
you know?
because, that was.
And, but you make a good point. Right now, It's mandatory.
There's
zoning
nothing
for-
optional right now, yeah.
For businesses on that road.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is reintroducing another method.
Yep.
They just,
You know, mandatory is a word that's existing now.
Mhm.
And you're gonna change what's
What's
existing
mandatory.
to something better.
Yep.
And I think that you could be right. Everybody's getting hung up on optional and mandatory.
Well, that's.
Instead
that's-
of what the goal here is for the town.
Exactly.
Susan nailed it and said, this is semantics here.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Yeah.
The school teacher,
Optional
right?
is mandatory, mandatory is optional, you know.
Yeah.
But, okay, I guess we're kind of done with this, we kind of know what's gonna be happening.
but I do think,
going
if you
forward.
can think of some, of people who you could talk to, you know, take them out for coffee and say, would you be willing to call a couple of
More
council
voices would
members?
help.
I think it would help, because
Yeah.
I think currently they're only hearing from the property owners.
Right, and
who
not the
are
people who
opposing.
live here
Yeah.
that may want this.
Yes, that's right.
That's the
And they-
power. There's
and they-
39,000 people in this
And
town.
they.
I
and
tried-
they-
Not all of them
and
own business.
Us, they don't wanna hear any more from us.
I tried to light the fire with the theme that, hey, you know, we can try to save our way into a good budget situation, but you can also look at growing the dam revenue, growing tax revenue without increasing people's taxes. And that is, if you implement this, there will be more tax coming in.
And don't forget
They-
about the demographics of the age groups in this town too.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of young people, you know, that are growing families in this town. They may want a different town, you know, as they grow and live here.
All right.
I've got one more thing to present. It's, again, go back to optics. If this is presented, and think about like the way big government presents bills. They say something that they're really something else. Not that this is, but let's say this is a town renovation economic development plan. It introduces expansion for property owners, includes design specifications, business-friendly grandfather clauses.
Yep.
Increases revenue without raising individual taxes. That's the story, right? You know
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
story, and that's not the way it's presented. It's presented as something that's a legal document that you need to do this, and that,
Yeah.
that, right? And that's what they see, that's what they're hearing.
Just
I
haven't
totally
gotten
agree the
traction.
presentation can be.
Yeah, the marketing of
Because
this
you
could
know
be
the
so much better.
objections right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
You know the objections.
All right, so Randy, write down what you just said and send it around to us.
Got it right here.
Yeah, well,
Email it to town council. I don't know.
email it to Brian, and Brian
Yeah, I
can
will.
send it around to
Yeah,
us,
I'll
and then
type
we'll
it up.
use those, notes to try to find some people to.
So, yes, and,
Yeah, more voices I think would help.
Or you could write
Certainly a different marketing strategy might help.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Form-based code sounds.
It's scaring people, it's scaring
Yeah.
people.
Well, so does commercial highway.
Yeah, it's also.
well, it's the,
Highway, you know, I don't want a highway as my main street, thank you very much.
it's the Old Tower Hill Road Neighborhood Plan, is what it is. So, anyway, sorry we got off to a bad start.
Where else are
I
we?
think we supported it, I think the planning committee was there also.
Yeah, I thought Jamie did a nice job of defending it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
He
we'll
had
have
all
to-
the answers,
He had
all the questions.
You know what's lacking though? There was no advocate, nobody to say, I am for this thing and present it. It was just thrown out on the table, and the consensus from the town council was, hey, this is too big a thing to bite, and so let's back off and make it optional. That's the takeaway I had.
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody, even the consultants, you know, they were meek in presenting their point.
They were not
They-
as
they-
forceful as they should have.
No, somebody needs to be the champion or the advocate and take that on, not,
But it's more powerful if the advocate is someone from the town, I guess is my point. So
Yeah.
I don't mind the consultants being like, we did what you asked, what do you think of it? Like, that's a fair stance for them to take as people who are providing a service.
Right.
But someone in the town should have been running with it. And I don't know if that's supposed to be planning department or if that's supposed to be someone on the council.
the
But
cost guy, right? We waited months and months for the cost guy, Beaujolais, whatever his name is. And, you know, he went through it. I mean, he's clearly on the top of his game.
Yeah.
But it was something that didn't come across to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, he
It was
just,
unfortunate that he wasn't there, that,
yeah.
and the slides were too
Okay,
small.
so to Kirk's point, do we want Randy's statement to be do we want is the EDC the group that should be the one, the local?
champion.
The champions?
Why not?
Are we the
Been
ones?
doing that.
What?
We have been trying.
That's what we've been
to.
doing.
We have, but maybe we have been, I mean, we've never been invited to be kind of, to make the presentation the way, say, the consultants did.
Yeah.
Phones have just been fact spitters. They haven't
Yeah.
done any, I mean, their job is to not be non-biased.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, they're presenting a,
Yeah, like I said,
So-
I think they were doing their job by being non-biased, but maybe we need somebody at a meeting like that who is gonna pound the table and say, we need this because.
we need more, I think we need more people from the charrette who were
Mm-hmm.
So how can
there.
we find?
And then a message like Randy just
Have the
read.
email, she has the email list.
She has the emails from Main Street. right?
Is-
You
is
don't
there
have
any-
emails From the charrette.
I don't
No.
have, I don't,
That was
but,
from that meeting at Contemporary.
but,
What about a property owner? Is there
There
any
were a lot of
property
people.
owner who'd say, hey, I've got a
Would've been
property
Perry,
there,
I
I'm
think.
for this thing?
Perry just launched a beautiful.
Perry,
Perry
Perry's-
Rasso, well, I talked to Perry about it.
I
and-
did too, yeah.
And I'm not sure Perry, I'm not sure. I don't know whether, and
Just build a beautiful building.
He
Pain
said-
in the butt.
Yeah.
He said,
doing big gangbusters.
sounds like no downside to me. That's what he told me.
okay.
I tried to make the
Okay,
meeting.
that's good. I
And he
mean,
couldn't make it.
you know, his
Well,
building
we
comes,
moved
his
it.
building comes close to the street.
Yeah.
He's.
It's like this close to being conforming to the
Right.
code from my
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a whole lot of building, I mean, even those drive-in things are pretty close to the street. It seems to me you could say, whatever that distance is,
Yeah.
the grassy stuff, that could be considered close enough to the street. It would seem to me you just widen the sidewalk a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
put out a patio.
An
and a-
awning and a patio
Yeah,
and
you're
call it a
done.
day.
You're done.
I think we've done a lot to advocate within the group, but the depressing thing for me at that meeting was the town councilors just seemed to be jumping ahead of us.
Yeah.
They seem to come in there with, how do we make this go away?
Yeah.
And the answer, by making it optional. You know, we
I-
got,
I don't even think they thought about that until they got to the meeting and then. that
they
came up-
latched onto it.
They did, but
All we
not
talked
until
about.
about 20 minutes into it. They were kind of grasping at straws for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, okay. Draft this up, send it out. We need to drive people to the meeting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Is
I'm
there a
not sure.
place for this on the internet, Mike? Like, is there a place for people to learn about this? That's
I put it in my damned letters, well, for the first one, the date and all that stuff. Nobody
Wasn't the meeting
responded.
moved, like a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
date.
Was.
So maybe,
Snow and all that.
so yeah, maybe turnout was reduced because of the
Yeah.
change in the date in the meeting.
I mean, putting it on social media, you know, hey, there's an important
Yeah.
meeting.
What about the town Facebook page, Randy? Isn't there some town? I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, there is. I'm not either, but
I
what's it
got
called?
off
Our
Facebook
town,
because I can't remember why, but I'm not.
our town, South Kingstown, is that the name of it?
yeah, but the Facebook everything it's temporary, right? So there was a
Oh, okay.
I thrown this up, single website that then you can link to, and you can provide people a link to understand it in a simple way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the town, don't we have a website tool? We probably don't have access to it, right?
A website tool for what?
Like having a EDC having a landing page.
A single
Uh,
like page off the
No,
town website.
I mean, there is a page for the EDC.
It's just- it's
Yeah,
different
If you
information.
want to
It's
post
agendas.
something there, draft it up and
So if we
approve
made
it.
a-
I have to get it approved by the town manager's office, but we can.
Could we
But
put
there-
a link there that links out to our EDC page?
Put a link where?
Could we put an EDC page up that's outside of the town or no?
Not under the EDC banner, no.
Okay, fair enough.
So I could personally, without quorum, produce a understandable, simple one-page website for this?
Yep.
That we could send people to.
Correct. Not together, though,
Not together,
No.
no.
individually.
Have you heard about this thing that Randy's doing?
Well,
So I'll share, I've written it up a little bit better, but so you said the neighborhood renovation economic growth plan.
Mm-hmm.
Works towards a beautiful, walkable, bikeable downtown. Introduces expansion opportunities for property owners in the commercial corridor in return for following design specifications. Business-friendly grandfather clauses for property owners who choose not to participate.
Sure.
increases town revenue without increasing citizen property taxes. That probably could be worded better.
When you say, yeah, town revenue, I mean, you probably should say tax revenue, right?
Tax revenue, town tax
Well-
revenue.
We wrote a complete
And-
letter to the town council about this too.
I know, but people don't read those things.
Yes, I understand,
Are we
I
trying to-
understand that, but we could take,
And
we could take that content and we could start putting it out on social media.
Yeah.
and this sounds like it's more focused towards other residents, not the town council, which is like the letter was to the town council,
Right.
right?
Yeah, resident's the word, not citizen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
resident,
resident
property
yes.
taxes.
Yeah.
Because
Resident.
the people that are most affected by this are residents, and the people who are voting on town council in November are residents. So residents are the people that need to care or not care and make their opinions heard. And that's all we're trying to promote, is make sure that you understand this issue and you vote in the direction of your feelings on this issue.
So,
You know?
I'm on the neighborhood, whatever the heck it,
The Facebook thing?
chat page, no, it's a
Oh,
South Kingstown neighborhood.
Apache.
Facebook, on Facebook?
No, it's called neighborhood,
They got a neighborhood WhatsApp?
neighborhood
What's going
app
on?
or something.
Next door?
next door?
Oh, it could be that.
It could be next door.
It's on, internet. I get emails every day. You know a new plumber that, you know a good plumber that's doing.
Oh, yeah, no, wait. Oh.
I need a plumber. My plumber backed out. You got one?
Ooh, actually, my guy John. But
Well, next time I get one, we can.
I get one called Camp Fuller, but I'm not actually on it. Camp Fuller doesn't, I'm on Camp Fuller Road, and
It's neighborhood something, I forget the name of the name of the site, but every town has a site on there.
okay, yeah.
And you can ask your neighbors for, so we can go out there and we can start, if you send that out.
Yeah, this is a nice summary. I'm gonna send it to you to redistribute, Brian, just because it doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be short, sweet, to the point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and we need to send it it needs to go to lots of places and many times.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it's tight and short, you can like make an image that you
You
can
can
post
blast
a
it.
text message to
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah.
like a little image. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
So wait, aside from being informative, does it conclude with contact the town councilors? In other words,
Oh,
Oh,
I've got
it should
your
say,
interest,
like-
what do you want me to do?
Like,
Yeah.
write your town council in favor,
yeah.
Or
right?
Yeah,
Tell your town council member you like this idea.
exactly.
put a telephone number in there? Seriously, because people,
Yeah, I'm in favor for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a singular number we could share, Brian? Your number?
No, oh, yeah, maybe.
They have their, you can,
Or an email
general
address,
email,
something.
I assume that there's-
you can put a link, there is a town council address.
Let's just do the general town council.
That makes
So
sense.
all right,
targeting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What is that, Brian?
yeah.
If we have a concerned citizen who wants to
South
Right.
Kingstown.
speak to this issue
Yeah,
to
like,
the right
who do I talk to?
voice.
You know, written letters go to Town Hall at 180 High Street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There is an email address set up for the town council.
Yeah, I thought so.
What is this?
Yeah,
That's
what
right.
is that?
Town council at southkingstownri.gov.
Okay.
South Kingstown, RI or dot RI?
All right.
All right.
Okay, so it's full like that.
They also have individual email addresses.
It won't get, like, we want it tight.
Yeah, we want it to be a single address that will go to all of them.
Yeah, I'll go to all of them, that's better.
Boards and commissions.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just confirming before I send it out. But like, if we send this out, you guys are good with it, I can convert it into some sort of nice packageable, like I'm talking to someone, you get the image, you text message it to somebody, and they can consume the image immediately. It could be one of the better
Yeah.
looking images from the architects.
I mean, it cinched me, honestly. I mean, I read the report, but
I mean, I think this is a situation similar to Tom's letter, where the sentiment in this room is understood, and we trust your judgment for the implementation. And you're speaking as a private citizen,
Right.
just trying to inform other citizens. Like,
Yeah, so this isn't a meme or a document we need to
Yeah, we're not gonna vote on it, because again, like, sort of Tom's letter to the paper, it's his opinion. It's his opinion, it's your opinion.
So if I send it to you, you can send it to Brian. All right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go look at the pictures from the charrette and see.
Yeah, there might be like one or two like
who I-
really good ones.
Who I recognize and send it.
The one where the
Oh,
liquor
you're talking about
store
trying to
is,
find folks, yeah.
That's one where they create the piazza, the plaza there, where the liquor store is, that's one. And then the entrance into what's now the Wakefield Mall. I mean, that might blow them away. That's the 3-story, it's like a whole boulevard going in there.
Yeah.
What if I send, I'll send it to you, then you can send me the photos and I can
Okay.
put it together.
Just pull
This
them
is
out of the
one-on-one.
report.
Can we good with that, Brian? If I just
One-on-one, yeah.
Okay, so just
Alright.
the two of you figure it out, and
Sounds good. Great.
we'll see the final product in action.
Social media are,
Tom, can I share you a Google Doc? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a dinosaur, but I probably can handle
Just
that.
checking in, just checking in.
Yeah,
And it's the Tom at route,
yeah.
yeah, your
Dot
last
com,
name.
dot com.
Dot com.
All right.
All right, sent over. Done. You're the only person.
Got it.
And you can paste images in there, or you can
Yeah.
write me and send me
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll take it in,
Yep.
package it up.
Yeah. They're really well done renditions.
Yeah, no, some
I
of
think
those
they're great, yeah.
good illustrations for sure.
cool, very good. Okay, let's move on to the EDS surveys.
EDC.
EDC.
I'm sorry, the EDC. I used to work at EDS. EDC surveys. And they moved my pension to another company, and I couldn't remember what it was.
Who's getting paid?
That's not good.
That's not good.
Do we have any more news on the EDC surveys?
So I contacted URI. They took their sweet time getting back to me. Right? 4 days. I said, come on, guys. And she said, hey, we've already distributed it out to IT and HR, and they're all reviewing it. And as soon as this comes back, they'll schedule a meeting with us to go over it.
Okay.
And I figured when we showed up, we could go over the report that we got from South County
The hospital.
Yeah.
Show them what we're gonna get. And I don't know, I was just thinking, what did you think of the results? I mean, what would we do with this when we get it, this report?
My answer
What does it
is
say?
it directs, it helps direct development concepts. So people aren't, if we invest and did something like what happened at Wakefield School and they're presenting 81 bedroom condo units,
Yeah.
that doesn't line up to what
What
this
people
is
are
saying,
asking for,
right?
yeah.
So it's a guide to present. It's like, if somebody wants to come develop here, we have data for them to review,
Mhm.
and it's their decision to how they want to design. But what I saw from these presentations didn't make much sense to me. Some of them did, right? But it seemed absurd to waste money, our tax dollars and revenue, on a design direction that doesn't line up to what the needs for the town are. And so they tell
Yeah.
the needs for growth of the town. That's what it says to me. If that's not clear enough, maybe we need to make a
Maybe
cover
we-
letter that says that or something.
I was thinking that what would come out of this, okay? We could identify groups of people who fit into certain categories.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who are way above the affordable housing thresholds by leaps and bounds. They still want to live here, but they can't afford it. So what would you do to encourage those people to move here? What would you have to do?
Mm-hmm.
For the people who are affordable housing, well, they're candidates for these affordable housing things they're gonna build. How do you connect them with whoever's gonna be building these affordable units? Or
Yeah.
how would they find the affordable units? They talk to a realtor, or what do they do? So I was wondering, if you look at, there are some improve the transportation system.
Yeah.
That would help them the most, right? They're commuting half an hour, they could eliminate that, make some useful time. You know, maybe there's a group enough to establish a bus route to go to South County Hospital, and there's one to establish one to go to URI that comes from
Mhm.
this area, right? There's I think there's things you can glean out of that, but it would take a, kind of like you'd have to do some kind of analysis on trying to identify I guess, the strata of the different
Yeah.
people and what their situations are, right?
My concern is I think the survey data by itself is insufficient to make some of those arguments. Like, I don't think you can argue for a bus route based on just the data that we have so far.
I'd agree.
I did take the anonymized version of that data and play around with it, do a little bit of Excel tricks to be able to visualize it in a couple different ways. And one of the things that I found interesting was that the vast majority of the people who responded to the survey who were under what I would call like a minimum salary to actually be able to afford to move to town actually were sort of already in the like close to retirement age population, where a lot of the younger folks who responded to the survey with like interest in moving to town and their reason for not moving to town didn't involve that it was too expensive were probably doctors, like, you know, making, you know, mid six figures or something, you know, something where they must have advanced degrees of some kind to be making the money that they respond to the survey admit that they're making. And so part of the question I think that still needs to be answered, and I don't think we really addressed it, is like when we talk about like workforce housing, I think we're talking more about like the folks who work at the restaurants, who work at, you know, the stores and the shops along Main Street, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And there's also this class of folk who are, you know, professionals, whether they be lawyers or doctors or nurses or whatever. And so I think there's like these different cohorts of people that are all very important to our community based on like the businesses that we have in our community and the, you know, young folks who are going to raise families in our community. And we sort of have to maybe have like a different argument for each group. So like certain types of housing are going to be good for one group, but not others. So I think we just need to get a little bit, we need to get maybe more focused on what are we advocating for and which part of the data are we really trying to highlight as being like, this is the problem that we are worried about today, and here's how we hope to move forward on advocating for this particular data set, right? Because I saw a lot of folks, like different types of folks that were looking to move to town, and it's not a one size fits all kind of picture from me filtering through the data myself.
Did we get any ideas about whether people wanted to rent or buy? I'm trying to remember.
It looked mostly buy to me, and it looked mostly single family homes to me.
Yeah, that's
from
what I
the
thought,
data,
too.
which is also very interesting to Randy's point. Building a tower on that school grounds isn't going to solve the problem if these people want single family homes.
Yeah, and there was a presentation it wasn't many, but it was like 8 single family homes. I don't know if we all remember, that was like
Yeah, it was one of the
years
options.
ago.
One of the options, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that would make sense, right? That would line up to this
Yeah.
document saying like, okay, we'll build these to present. Anyways, but yeah, you make a good point. What's the best thing we could present? What Mike's asking. These are the demographics. This is what each demographic is asking for based upon the survey.
So
Exactly.
Kirk, maybe we need you to
Cover letter.
to take whatever it was you saw and write it up for us to discuss a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, I can maybe make the
Because
data a
it's-
little bit more digestible
Yeah.
and bring it back to this meeting.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't think it sounds like you're really interested in doing anything too much more with it at the moment. But I think that would be helpful. And then I
Yeah.
also think we could tell Luke Murray and Jim Manny's office, we've done this, and it hasn't answered everything, but here is what we have learned from it, and you should know that we have this.
Well, with his letter, to
Yeah.
your point, we make recommendation. We got you data to help you drive decisions with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the cover letter. Here's the data.
Yeah.
And I think we do send
Does-
that to the town council.
Yeah.
And
So we
staff
promised them that.
gets
We
it.
promised them, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll bring it back for, let's say, next month to this meeting, and we can vote on it. And if it looks good to everybody, we can say send it to town council, send it to the town manager.
That's great. And, that'd be great.
All right.
The presentation you did, this was one of the things in the docket that we told town council we were working on for them, so that's a deliverable, right, for you.
Okay.
That's, I think that's an important thing, so.
Yeah.
Cover letter,
Yep.
and then.
And I'll get a little data point, something
Yeah.
to
Some couple
back up
things.
the cover letter.
And
yeah.
then, once you bring that next meeting, we can agree to maybe a one paragraph introduction, so we send all the data to town council
Okay.
with the cover letter.
How many employees does the town have?
I don't know off the top of my head.
There is a public record online
Yeah, I'm
that shows
sure.
every
Yeah.
employee in there, what they.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that was another place we would want to do a survey. Or not.
Oh, yeah, that'd be killer, actually.
Fun
How
fact.
about teachers? We do that too. So I guess
Yeah.
we've got this one lined up. We got but this is a service also to South County Hospital. It'll also be helpful to URI when we
Yep.
get it done. I suppose at that point, we can ask the question. do
That's
you
a
think-
good, that's a good idea to talk about teachers and town
do you-
employees.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
think do you think there are other?
Yeah, like what
I
other,
can inquire about that.
like if we're just brainstorming, what are the other major employers in town,
Yeah.
right? Like the
Okay.
town itself would be one of the major employers in town, for
It
sure.
would be, yes.
You know,
I remember seeing a percentage, it was pretty high for government.
Yeah.
So that's probably including some state folks too, and maybe even a few federal.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Broken out.
They're a
but it was-
government employee.
It might have been the third largest employer.
There is a lot of people don't know, but there is like a NOAA, like
Yeah.
a Commerce Department federal over in Narragansett, up by the
South,
Bay campus.
by the Bay
Bay
campus.
campus.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's a lot of federal employees that are in this area for sure.
Right.
Haven't most of them been fired?
A lot.
Yeah. I don't want to speak to that. I don't know.
So my person I do the
think a lot-
taxes with,
I-
husband,
I think a lot of them have been fired.
yeah, he got that forced
Yeah.
retirement.
Oh, okay.
He had to stop working in June and got paid for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
tough, you know.
Yeah.
Then he retired.
yeah.
But anyhow,
Kingston.
okay, that's good. So we sort of got something rolling here, and it'll be interesting to see what.
Well, I think it's very important to make the case that Randy made, to say that, you know, you spent money, because the town does this, they spend money drawing these solutions, and they haven't understood what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we're trying to do here. We're
Yeah.
trying to help them
Find the problem.
define what the problem is, so that when they go out, if they go out to hire a consultant, they do a better job of addressing the problems that we really face.
Absolutely.
'Cause we
Yeah.
haven't-
Because the FBC, excuse me, the neighborhood renovation plan.
Oh, yes.
Is actually helps with that, because it actually meets the demands of more housing.
Correct.
Mhm. Yes.
And the
Some single family and some not
Yeah.
single family,
Correct.
they're young, right?
Mhm.
So I'll make I wasn't gonna mention this, but after the last letter, I got a call from one of the counselors.
Councils.
Yeah,
Town council.
town councilors.
Understood.
And he was not happy with what I wrote. We talked about it, it was a 50-minute call.
Oh,
But one of the points that he made there was, you know, if we do this, it's gonna make it even harder for people to get housing. And I said, wait a second, supply and demand, if we're gonna put more supply in, maybe the prices aren't gonna go down, but how the hell do they go up?
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But that was, somebody must have planted that in his ear, you know, that's what I think, but,
Yeah, the housing opportunities goes up. I added it as a bullet point, 'cause
Yeah.
it wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a real
Yeah.
thing.
so, but
Yeah.
that's some of what these guys are
It's-
hearing.
If some of this housing had existed when I was looking to buy, I might have gone for a walk up
Yeah.
right above like a restaurant or somewhere down like
Yeah.
that sounds exactly up my alley personally.
Especially for college grads too. Like,
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
Especially if you already work somewhere along the strip. Like
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Diverse housing opportunities,
Yep.
which is cool.
It's interesting you say that. I went to a Senate hearing on Tuesday of this week for
Mhm.
funding for Grossmart.
Yes.
They approached the legislature and they asked for $500,000 spread over 3 years.
Yes.
They gave them 125 the first year. There's a bill in.
Oh, this is for Main Street, for the Main Street
but
program.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
Grossmont
under
that gets the
Grossmont.
funding, yes.
Yeah.
It's the Main Street program. And I afterwards, they, don't remember his name. Who's the
De
director?
Palma?
The director,
De
De Palma was
Palma.
the chair, but who
Yeah.
was the
Oh, Scott Wolf?
Scott, yes. Scott came up and said, you gave some texture. Because I talked about our visit to Woonsocket and how we saw a mixed-use building going up. You know who's gonna be in that building? People who work in Massachusetts. It's just over the border, but it'll be affordable for them, way more affordable. Massachusetts has got a lot of programs where they're building around train stations.
Yes,
you know,
they are.
To reduce commuting and all that. So anyway, I just pointed out the specific things that were being done already that because Main Street was there, like the facade things that we were doing in town, safe streets that we're doing in town. All these things are, and what GrowSmart is doing, Main Street is doing, Main Street Rhode Island is doing, is they're coalescing this. They're putting some organization to it. They're, basically, turbocharging what's being done, and for $150,000, that's pretty short money to get that kind of an improvement in 10
Yeah.
towns within the state, and they're planning to go for another round of,
Yeah,
after this first
additional
10
towns.
cohorts go through, they'll go for more towns.
Yeah.
Once it gets ahead of steam, it'll get going. So anyway, we'll see how they vote, but,
What did you sense from De Palma and the committee? Did they,
I think they kind of figured they were sort of reminded that, hey, this is a 3-part thing. You kind of got to complete this, yeah. And I think that's the way they came out. All the rest of the bills were also pertinent to me. They were all AARP supported tax cuts for seniors. This is the Finance Committee. Okay? Should Social Security be taxed or not taxed, et cetera. There's some holes there, but anyway, that's another topic altogether. But
Kirk and I are gonna pay more taxes.
hey,
don't worry, I'm gonna pay
you.
Social Security taxes even if this bill passes, because there's some limit.
yeah.
Yeah, I.
Well, that's
Good for you, maybe
There's two things
Yeah.
they want to do. Okay, one is, but I'm not in favor of this myself, because I think there's this argument that you contributed to Social Security during your career, and so did your employer. 6.7% of your earnings, up to a maximum. So why should the government tax you? You gave them the money; they're giving it back to you now. So why should you pay tax on it? To me, it doesn't. It's income is income is income. If you've got so much income coming in, then you need to pay taxes on the income that you've got. It doesn't matter whether it came from this source or a pension or whatever. But anyhow, they.
We're a little far away from
Yeah.
from the original topic of the survey.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely. No, I just wanted to mention the Main Street thing here.
Yeah.
But it was. I bribed my wife by telling her we were going to go to dinner. We
Oh,
got
okay.
out of there at 9:30.
Now that you got the
So,
DD, understood.
Now I'm really in trouble. Okay, so the surveys, that's great. We got a good thing started. I love the results in South County Hospital, and
You got to replicate at URI.
yeah, and it sounds like they're getting ready.
You're
to,
pushing it.
Yeah.
I've been seeing all the emails you sent.
Yep.
them.
Yeah,
They're
they'll
just not-
they'll come around, and it would be good to get some conversation with them.
So hopefully by next meeting, we have more data. Kurt will have a little
Yeah,
cover letter.
I'll write something up to try to help
Interesting.
explain the data we already have.
Yeah.
And you get a read on the town employees, right?
And so, this is what I looked up when we were chatting. Somehow I got distracted in my mind. I don't know how, but there's 156 town employees.
156.
So the town
That's-
manager would be able to approve issuing the survey to town employees.
Okay.
You likely need the school superintendent to sign off. on-
Separate for the schools.
Separate for the teachers.
Correct. I corrected myself. 162. It's 162.
Okay.
So
Is that including schools? Sorry.
No,
No, that's
no.
just town,
Town.
South Kingstown town employees. So
Okay.
town of South Kingstown employs 162 people.
Ex-school.
The others must
Yeah.
work for the
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe it does make sense for us to try to send this through the town manager, through the superintendent.
Can't hurt, it's more data.
See if we can get more data.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more data.
That's
See if
fair.
it's consistent.
Well, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
I
See if
think
there's a
the-
consistent
these-
trend.
These are teasers, right? So you send this first report, you say, we've been considering maybe if it's valuable to,
let's not
to
ask.
survey.
Send it.
Yeah.
Because
Just send
we
it?
have it in
Might as
a
well
way
try.
that we can just tweak it a
Randy,
little bit.
can you send me sort of a summary of the data that the existing survey has produced?
That was,
So
Yeah.
I can send that to the town manager and say,
Yeah.
this is what we're getting, we would like to expand on it with another large group of local employees.
Yeah. Yeah, you had like the overview.
yeah, summary of,
Yeah.
how should I title that to you, Brian? EDC,
Summary of survey, workforce survey results?
Yeah, I should give them the survey too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, give them the copy of the survey too.
That's a good idea.
You know?
you guys
wanna
can't
shop
do
that
Goo-
around?
You can't do Google Links, right?
I can't.
You can't even open
Google
them?
Docs, no, I can't open Google Docs.
Okay, so I need to export this.
Yeah, make it a PDF for them.
Let's see if I can do that real quick.
Okay, so, let's move on then to,
Okay.
South Kingstown Garden Show. Do you wanna summarize, Jerry, what happened?
Well, Susan reached out to the URI Gardeners Club, and she responded to us, as you saw. And
Oh, Tom's not here.
you want to wait?
Yeah, let's skip that.
If you don't mind going slightly out of order,
Yeah, then,
there's a couple things we could talk about. Tom was at the, this would be like a new business item. Is that okay?
Let's just wait for Tom to get,
Okay, sure.
because we really need a vote to advance things on the agenda. You
Understood.
don't
That makes
have enough
sense.
people here to vote.
That's fair.
Alright, I got the form exported into a PDF, which will work. Survey and summary attached as PDFs.
That works.
Anything I should write to you, Brian, as a bell ringer?
No, if you just put that in the subject of the email, I'll know what it is. I know I'm expecting it from you, so.
Yeah, I get it to you right now. I just need to see what.
And we want to go ahead and contact the school? You wanna contact the school committee and ask them if they wanna do it?
Brian said the superintendent.
Superintendent.
That's what I mean, I meant the superintendent.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
if
wanna
we
do
get the
that?
school and the town, that'd be a pretty.
Yeah, that's probably another, 300 people? Something like that.
Yeah, I figure you get 10%, so maybe another 60 to 80 data points or something.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all right.
And would we ever combine these whole things together? We would.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to combine data points, but having them as separate views is also sometimes useful.
Mhm.
Like if we're finding that people at one of these employers are older on average and than a different employer, maybe that's important to know for whatever reason.
Sure.
Again, I don't want to speculate on what the data is going to say because it's important to let the data speak for itself at some level.
Mhm.
But here's Tom.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right, super.
All right.
So, garden party.
Garden.
So anyway, last meeting when we talked about it, it was really briefly towards the end of that meeting, last meeting. And Susan reached out to the URI Gardeners Club. She responded to us. I think maybe there was a little bit of, maybe she didn't understand she said the Gardens Club doesn't get involved in garden shows or the business of garden shows. And I think maybe the explanation of what my intention was for the town. And I think it's about involving URI like we discussed. How can we utilize that? It's a big asset for us in the town and the oceanography school. And how can, my thought was if we can partner up with URI, how can we do something where we can have a benefit for all the people that are involved in landscaping? And oddly enough, when I looked up the biggest employers in South Kingston, agriculture is one of them.
Yes.
one of the bigger employers.
Yeah.
So, and I had something that came through my desk the other day from a company in New Zealand that's doing something with seaweed for agriculture. And so it's a lot, there's a lot of stuff happening out there, and I'm just, that was my thought. How, is this a possibility? Is this something that could have legs, and where do we begin? I don't know. Do you got to go to the URI Board of Trustees? How do you approach URI to do this? I don't know where to begin.
If you're asking for like the right people to talk to, just knowing what I know about sort of how universities are structured, deans of colleges are often a little bit more motivated to find like external revenue sources than some of the more frontline teachers and like people there. So like the dean of the oceanography school might be more interested in having a conversation about, all right, we have this possible opportunity about the seaweed as like a fertilizer, like a way of integrating with like the local agriculture. Like that might be a more productive conversation at the dean level or like provost level, where
That's what I was
they're
looking
more
at,
concerned
yeah.
about budgets than some of the other folk are.
Yeah, because I did some research on the
Yeah.
dean that would handle the agriculture at
Mhm.
URI.
Who is
But
that?
even like the oceanography dean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think there's separate people.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But I mean, I just think it has a lot of like far-reaching benefits. I mean, I even like when I drove by Clark Farms the other day, over the weekend, they had a big, massive amount of people there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Open for
Mother's
the
Day
season.
coming
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's kind of similar to that, but a little, not quite like a Chelsea Garden Show. I mean, I don't think anybody could copy what that's all about, but it's about utilizing landscapers, landscapers, masonry
Mhm.
people, all kinds of people, turf. And if it's brought together at URI, we could look at things like what's the new way of gardening today, or farming, sustainable. Conditions of the weathers are changing. What type of plants are more conducive to this area? How do we grow better without fertilizer or chemicals? All those things, that's what I'm sort of
Yeah, no,
thinking
I-
about,
I still think that we'd be better off, URI's got to get integrated in with this, but I think
I can approach that dean and see what there's thoughts there. I mean,
But
I
I-
graduated from URI, so
Yeah.
I think.
It's a good
Who is the dean of
Do you tithe?
agriculture?
Susan, I forgot what the name was when I, what?
Do you tithe?
What?
Do you tithe? Do you send them money every month?
I
Do
donate.
that.
Yeah, that's.
I donate.
So.
Well, that's
so-
how you get the phone call, or you get the
Yeah.
conversation.
So-
I donate.
Listen, I was just wondering whether we should have a meeting and present this to
Yeah.
Well-
somebody from Clark Farms, the farmer's daughter,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
big-ass landscaper that's across from farmer's daughter,
Yeah, right.
my son-in-law's a landscape guy and said that guy's huge.
Right.
3 or 4, 5, 6 different businesses,
Mhm.
and present this concept and see whether there's interest in participating in it.
Right.
Then we go to URI and say, we got a lot of people in the business community that want to integrate in with the university. How do we work this?
Oh.
And maybe
I
do
could,
it that way.
I could do that. I could run with that if you'd like. And she also gave us two nurseries, I think, local,
Mhm.
that she said you should contact.
Yeah.
So I could do a lot of legwork on this because I'm really passionate about it.
The other thought I just had
Mm-hmm.
is those businesses are probably like they might be affiliated with like the Chamber of Commerce.
That's true too.
And my understanding through like talking to folks at the chamber is that the president's office at URI is already trying to do more of an integration with the business community, like trying
And that
to.
is true.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe, again, like this is another idea to try to like combine forces. And so if you talk to the chamber, if you talk to the president's office, like these are already conversations that are already in progress. Like this is like an example of a type of event that would make sense to everybody involved. So
A different way to approach. You can create an agricultural allegiance and get these
Yeah.
like thought leaders together because
Oh, definitely.
'cause
I mean, those are the ones that are
from
going to participate that you're
Right.
asking to participate.
Absolutely.
And there probably is some kind of organization for agriculture
Yeah, I don't know.
as well,
Maybe there's-
which I'd like to find out. But
there's
I think you should stop and
Gardeners.
see,
That's,
Yeah.
that's
you
what I
should
put
stop
him in
and see
touch
Joe
with.
Beely
Um,
at
Okay.
the Chamber of Commerce. You want to
That
go
was the
in?
guy that was at the meeting.
There's like 4-H down here too, like, I don't know.
Depends on the time, but I can
I
intro
can't
Joe.
use the
Joe's
internet
always
in
super
here.
favorable to meet us.
Yeah, I know.
No matter
And I
what.
just saw him.
Does this,
So,
286-8763.
oh man, 286.
Whoa.
8763.
to what extent is this
That's
just
a far one.
focused on like a fair, or is it a year-round thing?
I thought, like a weekend,
Okay.
like a Saturday, Sunday.
Like a
So
festival.
One
Yeah.
big,
Okay,
Yeah,
like. yeah,
maybe,
okay.
probably the first year, one day.
Yeah,
So I'll just point out that I received an email today about the URI Springs plant sale at the Botanical Gardens that came
Right.
on the campus.
Yep,
On Saturday, is that the 9th, on May 9th?
Yeah.
yep.
Maybe go there.
I'm
and
attending it, yeah, I'm
Strike
going.
up some
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah,
and
network
see what
there.
the feedback is that you get from the people that you talk to.
Well, I'll definitely do some legwork on it, for sure.
Oh,
That makes sense.
I'll call, I'll go out and meet some of these.
he's gonna introduce you to Joe Beely.
Yeah.
And if he can't make the meeting, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Let's go talk. He knows everybody. And he'd be a good person to talk to say, how could we get something like this off the ground?
I'm trying to remember the name of the landscape architecture.
Joe was a town councilman.
No,
I saw him in the.
He was
Used to be.
I saw him on the form-based code meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was one of the
And
speakers.
he's
He
the
was
president
one
of
of
the
Right.
chamber now. Of
Yeah.
commerce, so.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
start.
let me just, I mean, I didn't know where to go with this, because we
Yeah,
didn't,
I know.
we really
We
kind of
don't
just
know either.
talked quickly, but, I'll definitely do some work on
Get
it.
you in front of the right people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we got
I
more
think I know where
ideas
to
now.
go. I think I know where to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you confirm you got that from me?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
it's Randy Apuzzo.
Yes, it is. Yeah, sorry for the all caps.
I think I have you.
It's exciting.
in my book.
Cool. Anything further?
Randy only yells
Jerry?
by phone.
No, I think that's it.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's, I'd like to tag along and go with you. I don't
Definitely.
want to cramp your style, but.
No, not at all.
I'm
I'd love
happy
to. I'd love it.
Go talk to these folks.
Yeah.
By the way,
Matching shirts.
Randy, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
get,
guess we'll-
I didn't get what you sent me.
All right, that's a problem. I'm gonna send it.
But, you know,
I
also
got
Mark
mine,
Hutchins.
Randy.
All right.
All right.
2 for
You
3.
He does
emailed
all
me.
the landscaping all over the town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
The
did.
green trucks. It
Is
says
that your
Mark
last
Hutchins
name, right?
Landscaping. He's a
Yeah.
big landscaper. He does all the commercial stuff.
ROUTLIFFE.
He lives
And
He lives
then
off
I had
Gravel.
Grandscapes.
Yeah, all
there.
those guys.
And, yeah, they're.
But there was two that,
Make sure.
Here, let me
the
send
lady
you.
from Gardeners Club.
Yeah, if you send him something.
said
I'll send
should
you-
talk to these two people.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me put a.
He's trying to email.
That's the email. I don't know.
mean,
I know,
it's,
but don't you want his phone
let's go
number?
here, here, and here.
No, he's trying to email.
No,
something.
I just emailed you, so you can just respond
Yeah,
to
that
that.
should be easy.
I'm just
Just
trying
one of
to,
the-
because I
We
think
wanna
it
know,
could
so,
generate money.
you know, these are elected people.
Mm.
I did-
You're
we're
right,
the
it's a
Economic
big
Development
asset.
Committee, we're not doing any, to develop any business in agriculture, nurseries, retail, we should
We should
address
do more,
this.
yeah.
We should definitely address
And it's
this.
good for everybody, I think, to get out into nature and grow their own food, and everybody, there's a big trend going towards that today.
There's definitely a trend for it,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right.
I brought
Uh,
asparagus from my
any
garden.
new business?
You didn't bring any with you, did you?
I have asparagus, I was gonna give it to
Would
my
that be now?
guitar teacher, who was
business? Yeah.
supposed to be upstairs, but he didn't come in today,
I'll
so.
love some asparagus. It's one of my staples.
Yeah.
Or are you offering it? I don't know if you're just showing
Well,
it
you're,
off.
It was-
you're gonna shame her into giving it to
It was,
me, huh?
it was
No,
from
no,
my,
no.
no, I got my thumbs up.
All
I'll
right.
tell you what.
Let's look at these stocks.
Nice.
Score.
Homegrown?
All right.
Yeah,
I picked
those
it,
are-
I picked it Monday,
I'll take
so
a
it's.
few. I'll give them back.
No, I got, are you kidding me? By the time this month, this.
That's a
season
cash
is-
crop there.
By
Yeah,
the time this season is over, I am so sick of asparagus.
Are ya?
fair enough.
Do you grow the white one?
No, I don't grow the white one.
No,
No,
that
I
kind.
just
A
grow
regular,
these.
All right.
big fat green
What did you want to
guy.
bring
All
up?
right, I have two things to bring up.
I have one thing to bring up.
Okay, this is just a follow-up from the EDC thing, but it would be new business, so I sent that information to Brian. Brian, should we just make a survey and send it to you preemptively?
Yeah.
A version for the town.
Yeah,
The
Okay.
town can't use Google though, so it has to be transferred. That's the trick. Anyways.
All right, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
That's
So-
that's gonna take us a couple weeks, but we'll figure it out.
The data's been sent to you, so you socialize that, we can start the work, or maybe you just let me know if there's interest, and then we'll put the effort in.
And you wanna talk to the school superintendent also?
So I don't know that path. Do we have a path to the
We
superintendent?
can, I can contact him.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you guys can reach out to the superintendent on your own. If you prefer that I do it, then I would ask for the same thing. A copy of the survey and a summary of the results that we have, and then I'll just elaborate on that. This gives us another large body of local employees to add to the statistical.
Well, how would it be different from what he's just sent you?
Well, I would follow up and ask for it, I think. I could formally ask you to do
Okay.
that off that email, right, Brian? Is that the,
Yeah, I didn't look at what was in the emails.
I sent you the redacted data, so nobody's information's on it. I sent you a 7-page summary that we built, and then a
Survey
the
document.
exported survey in a PDF form so you could read it.
Okay.
And I copied Kurt and.
Yeah, no, that's good. I can use that.
Do you want me to follow up and just say, please reach out to the superintendent right now?
No, I can
got
do
it.
that.
You got it?
He can
Great.
remember.
Okay, second thing, Jamie Sharp, she sent this beautiful visionary document. Was that ever discussed?
No,
Okay.
I don't know if I saw
I just.
no, you didn't. I only shared it with Randy.
that. Okay.
She got in touch, Jamie Sharp, somehow she knew that I was interested in repurposing Wakefield Elementary School. I've forgotten how that happened.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, she sent me a document that I shared with Randy, because Randy and I had been
Mhm.
buddies on that thing.
Mhm.
And she continues to be, she's a designer in town.
Uh-huh.
So here's the, I know this is far away, but she did all the architectural concepts
I
of the
see.
school, of it becoming, she called it the Wakefield Exchange, which is very similar to the, but more pushed.
Yeah.
And it was lining up to grants that Rhode Island's giving out to push this style of building in
Oh, okay,
towns.
sure.
She took the idea, I mean, my idea
has, like,
was just to
this here.
repurpose. She took the idea to make it into something, to tear it down and make it into something different.
Got it.
So, I mean, this is a better presentation than the FBC. The FBC has been a very like legal presentation. This is a visual, visionary presentation of what it could be, and she wanted to help. She was coming to us to try to get the grant, right? Was the idea?
Well, she didn't know what to do with her.
What is it? Is it a community hub, pretty much like we talked about?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
It's
a little
just-
bit more
It-
pushed.
It's just that instead of taking the existing building,
Greenfield, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and therefore she had the freedom to do.
Yeah.
Well, and the
like
building's
the-
being demolished anyway, so
looks
it,
like
it
the
makes sense.
FBC. It looks like the form-based code. Literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really cool.
But that's
Look at that.
just
Exactly.
for orientation's sake. That's facing the river.
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
So the
right.
parking lot's behind the
Yeah.
building you see on that.
Just like the
The
FBC.
primo location.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring it up. Like,
Cool.
It's
What
a
is it, the
cool-
Center for the,
She wants it to.
On the site of the elementary school.
no, I get that.
Yeah.
What-
it's
what's
a
the
mixed
purpose?
senior center.
Oh,
I'll
senior
read
center.
the. I'll read it. It's like reimagines the former school as a vibrant multi-use community hub where blah 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 blah. Inspired by Blue Zone principles, which emphasize physical activity, social engagement, shared purpose, exchange, encourages residents to walk, gather, thrive together. It builds on Wakefield's unique strengths, a walkable Main Street, nearby parks, bike paths, a strong local network of organizations already invested in the community well-being. Core principles would be profit-generating acres to sustain and subsidize public good use spaces, high-yield, low-maintenance tenants for long-term viability, community benefit programs that strengthen connections,
Mm-hmm.
flexible event membership models to make it inclusive and dynamic. So income generating would be co-working space, wellness studio, senior gym, cafe, event rental, art, retail, gallery hall. Community focus would be education programming, community spaces, outdoor connections, and partnership and purpose. So the senior stuff was one of the requirements for the grant. So she built this whole thing around the grant that Rhode Island is. I don't know the status of that grant, but I think
Yeah, I
it's
think it's.
$750K or something like that.
Anyways, I wanted to bring it up because she put a lot of effort in it. I remember seeing it when I was in San Diego and being like, "This is awesome."
Yeah,
you
and
know,
she's
yeah.
lovely. She and I had coffee together, but you know, I told her that the town wants to tear it down and build housing there. So
So.
Well,
we
all
could
of-
invite her to
So
come
she
to
did
a meeting.
incorporate housing into the follow up.
Okay.
So, senior friendly apartments she has, small scale residential, 24 units maximum. So it is. She did modify. I don't know if you saw the modification.
How much grant money did she think she might get?
There's public funding lowest 850,000 federal allocation is what is out there, I guess, to win based upon, I think.
Right.
But she's looking for a vehicle to get there, which would be, the town.
Yeah.
And she found Susan.
Well, she should, if she's interested in pursuing it, she should see if she can set up a time with the planning director to come in
That's
and
right.
discuss it.
Yep.
I think there were legitimate reasons that the town was not interested in trying to reuse the existing structure just because of
Yeah.
cost associated with
Yep.
reinventing that existing structure. But if you've got a model that provides a combination of community spaces with housing,
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't think that that would be something that would be off the table. The things that popped into my head when you were reading that are you doubling up on services that are already available someplace else in the town?
Yeah.
Or are you competing with other businesses in the town, gallery space? You already have galleries.
Yeah, you have Harry Gallery right there.
Yeah,
So,
It would need it would need to be.
let me just say that I think we have a little bit of gallery space in town. It wouldn't really be competing, and
We're
the
not
peop-
LA.
The people at Hera Gallery are looking for more space. So, I
Yeah.
think this, I think
Yeah,
the
you're
idea
just
that
saying stuff.
competing is, yeah.
What's the planning director's email?
Jamie Rabbit, oh, is it Jamie or James?
Jay.
Jay.
Oh, Jay.
First initial.
Last name is the
Yeah,
town hall.
Got it.
Okay, so I'm
Two
gonna.
T's, two T's.
What should I write in that email?
You're gonna send it to him?
Well, do you think we should introduce him?
No, have her send it. Tell
Yeah,
his email
I
address.
would have her reach out.
Yeah,
to-
she should.
Copy
Yeah.
you guys if you want.
Okay, why don't I'm
Yeah,
I'll
you have
be
the
in-
personal relationship, so
I'm gonna call her and tell her that we're doing this.
I can follow up an email and say, hey, Sue, we're gonna bring this back to life.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can do it. You're,
Right, just to
you're,
keep-
you're sitting right there, you can do
Yeah,
it.
and then you
Okay,
can follow up. So
Yeah,
you don't have
okay.
to
Okay.
write it down.
okay.
Perfect. All right, great. That's it. That was it for me. Thank you guys.
Cool. All right.
No, she's great. I was trying to get her to sit, I asked her to sit on the Economic Development Committee.
Oh, yeah.
I would think it'd be great.
Yeah,
And
but
she
she wasn't quite,
Well, I
There
mean,
you-
Wakefield is still very much up in the air because, we need the housing, but there are a lot of people pushing for rolling it into the park, and maybe this hits a middle ground.
Exactly.
You have a community activation
public
space
space.
and
Yeah.
housing.
I was,
So, that's why I'm encouraging you to have her send it in.
And to be clear, the only thing that is committed to is demolishing the building and preparing the site is the only thing that's
The town is
been
committing to taking down the building,
Yeah.
because the vandalism has become
a problem. Yeah.
a real problem.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's dilapidated now. It's sad.
Yeah.
dangerous.
Is
So-
Jamie's title is planning director,
Director of
Yeah.
Planning.
Director of Planning, Planning Director.
town
Right.
director of planning.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Director of Planning, South Kingstown.
All right, that makes sense.
And you're gonna send it to him?
No.
I'm sending an email to her and
To her to tell her to send it.
reviving this, saying this is who it is. Susan's
Yeah.
gonna help you do it.
Great. Copy, and tell her to copy you guys too.
Are we good on that
Boom.
item?
Done. Thank you. Yep.
So I have, I just want to make sure that the rest of the EDC is aware of, there was the regional EDC meeting in Narragansett.
Good point.
I think it was just the week after our meeting.
Yeah.
It was pretty decent programming. We had a representative from Rhode Island Commerce Corporation speak, and then there was a woman from Department of Labor and Training that spoke. They both had resources for businesses, resources for organizations and towns to support businesses. And so I just wanted to make sure that the rest of EDC knew about that meeting.
It's very good.
I think it should be an agenda item next meeting, because it blew my mind as a business owner. I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of things. that
Yeah, there's a
happen.
lot of grant money
Yeah.
up for
Yeah.
grabs. There's a lot of worker training that is available if businesses want
Loans.
to participate. There's a lot of free
They
money.
do new grad match, so if
Yeah.
you pay 20 an hour, they'll pay 10 of that an hour for up to 6 months or something like that. And
One of them, yeah.
don't quote me, but it's a very
Yeah.
cool
It's
program.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I
We're
took
doing that to generate new business, like
Correct.
bring business into Rhode Island.
Yeah. Right.
So
and increasing the number of headcount of the existing businesses in Rhode Island because again it lifts all boats. So, and I kept some of the handouts from that meeting. So if I can give this to Brian to circulate or
Yeah.
what have you, but I just wanted to bring that up as a possible item we can discuss.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
And I spoke with the Director of Labor and Planning, the Workforce Development, I think it's
Mhm.
called. Again, at Woonsocket, they had a state-provided training facility. It's a pretty big building. CVS has a little store in there. They bring their new employees in.
Yeah.
And teach them how to be a pharmacy tech, I guess, or something with what they're supposed to do with the shelves and all that kind of stuff. Colleges have some courses there so that local people can take them there. They have other contracts with people, but local business people can go in there and they can find out what resources are available for legal help, for accounting help, for this, that, and the other thing. Really a nice way to energize and upgrade the workforce. And there's another one at Westerly. There are two in the state, right? And the other one's at Westerly, and they have the inside of a submarine so that it can teach EB people. These are sponsored by corporations and federal, state money. So she offered to give us a tour of the Westerly place. So I'm going to take her up on that. And so I thought I'd write a letter to the council and the town manager, tell her that this is available and see what interest they have, and then contact her and get a group to go over there and see the thing. The thing that Jim Manning has an uncanny ability to like light a little spark here or there, and it kind of blows up into like working with the village association. All of a sudden, Main Street, Rhode Island comes along and they start, that snowballs. Not saying that he started the Main Street thing, but it just, the facade program and stuff kind of fed into that. And now this training idea of having the loft at the library as a training facility
Okay.
could become the administrative offices for the training facility that's across the street that the town offers. So I'd really like to stir that pot a little bit. So that was the thing I got
That makes sense.
most out of that. Those are really something to see, those facilities. I know that I have been inside the Nautilus, but I've not been
Yeah.
inside any
Yeah,
other.
I've been in there.
Yeah. Okay,
I have a question.
glad you brought that up.
About what you just said. Where would the training across the street from the library, where in the,
In the old hazard plant there,
in the mill?
In the mill.
in the mill.
In the
Oh,
mill.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you could, if you needed to expand, you could.
Yeah. No, that's what I thought you meant,
Understood.
That kind of thing.
but I didn't know whether you
Had
meant.
some talks over there with the mill owner.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it slips my name every time. I last communicated with him with.
Do you know his name?
yeah, but,
It's
It's
Eric.
Eric.
It's Eric.
Eric.
I think of his last name, but I was writing Eric back and forth when I was in San Diego. We had met before I left, and he was very interested in
Thornburg.
Yes, Thornburg, Eric Thornburg, correct.
Okay, great.
He's also very involved in Whalers, the brewery.
He is.
But he, like, he's like, let's turn this into a startup hub, is essentially what he said to me. And then we walked, it's amazing how much room's up there.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
much,
there's so much
yeah.
space.
It's huge, and there's still just stuff there that's been there that's never moved. And I guess at one point it was a multi-business tenant place. So all the original businesses and all the doors are already blocked off to have separate businesses in there.
Oh.
There's even like a science lab with like crazy things that probably aren't legal anymore. But very fire hazard. Like, but it's cool. It's very cool. So he's
Not
like,
our department.
OSHA issues.
yeah. But that would, it would be moved. But he was pretty excited. I'll talk to him again. I at this point, I don't have the time to run a startup hub.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the
So all that's idle now? The facilities?
The
Yeah.
downstairs is the tasting room of Whalers.
Yeah.
And then there's some vats and storage for Whalers, like they store their barley. They have a bag of barley that's like 3 of them are the size of this room. It's crazy. They buy it in truckloads. So they store that stuff there. They host private events. Have you ever been to the Whalers Brewery?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a fun recreational
right,
place.
right.
And so it's only that. So it's just the tasting room, and nothing is above the tasting room. It's completely empty. And then to the left, I think they rent it out to like some architectural design firm, and the rest is the brewery because it's grown so much. And then they have the little jewelry store that's like the little hut in the
Yeah.
corner. Anyway, so I'll follow up with them. I think it's a really cool idea. If
He
I'd
should
love to
run
do
it.
that at
He
one
should
time.
run it.
Well,
He
he's
should.
running Whalers. He runs it. He even builds the software to help automate the can lines and stuff and the
So
distribution.
Ken,
Oh, wow.
Ken's friends with him, too.
Yeah,
I met him.
I'm on a text message hangout basis, so.
Good.
But I'm gonna follow up with him again and see what he's thinking. I think he's looking for an avenue for it. So I really think just URI is the connection. Like you need to get URI involved and be involved in seeding that, right?
And you made contact with that guy, too.
I did get a contact from the meeting, which was the EDC meeting. The URI person was there, and we sent a couple text messages when we were there, but nothing really came of it. But we can make an initiative to do it. It's just I need to prioritize it. I can only do so many things at once.
Do you know Josh Daly?
Rings a bell, but
I feel like maybe looping Josh in with Eric, like you and Eric's conversation might be helpful.
yeah.
He's a
Josh
piece
Daly?
deal.
Yeah.
He's a piece deal. He was at URI as a small business,
Oh, yeah.
whatever, and now he's on the cohort for the Main Street stuff, and he's very,
Let's do this. Agenda item next time. We will come up with a plan to connect the dots to see if we can
Sounds
spark
good.
something.
Sounds good.
Because it sounds like people know different people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right.
So that's great.
Incubate.
Yeah, you can just play matchmaker. You don't have to be the person, point person.
I'm happy to try. I've got plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's not enough time to execute.
Yeah.
Terrific. Well, that's good, interesting
I ate this
information.
superfood though. All right.
So, we've got 2 future agenda items. One is the
EDC meeting.
EDC meeting.
EDC education.
Follow
is
up.
what it is.
Yep.
Business education.
Yeah, what do we do with that? We can make that available to the town somehow.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Yeah,
How
we've
should we
got to
do
get
it?
that on the website because I was sitting there like, oh, there's no way I would have known this. And maybe Joel Belay would be a perfect play for that. Just be like, maybe he knows.
Yeah,
maybe
he
doesn't.
knows the commerce folk, but yeah,
But like, I mean, as a small business owner, I've never gone to the Chamber of Commerce to grow my business. It's
Yeah.
just not the way.
No.
It's not. I've never
well, it's a
done
different
it.
type of business as part of the thing
Yeah.
too, right?
But that would have helped my business,
It would have.
right? Where it's like that wouldn't have helped. Well, the matching salary would help a restaurant, so I wouldn't say not all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Anyways,
there was a
but
lot of good.
good stuff.
Training,
Good stuff.
lots
Really
of
exciting.
good, really, very good.
But I
Okay.
feel like that's
Good.
part of our mission to just sort of make sure that these resources are
100%.
known by
Exactly.
the town businesses for sure.
Exactly.
We can get an airplane and we can just ride out of the airplane. Flyers.
There you go.
Brian,
Huh?
got an airplane?
No.
All right.
All right.
And Miata.
It's worth a try.
It's already on the list.
It's already on the
Put
list.
some wings.
It's just got a couple feet in the air.
A friend of mine built an airplane Unbelievable.
Let's use a drone.
That story got dark very quickly.
Oh, God. So, okay, anything else? Let's go to the Main Street program.
Oh, sure.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Did you have updates?
Staff update.
I don't.
Okay. What's going on with the Main Street, Fiore property there?
They were approved for their master plan revisions, so it will have to come back to us for preliminary plan review next, which is where a lot of the comments are actually going to be reviewed, because that's where we're gonna see all the engineering on the public comments about stormwater and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one corner of Belmont.
That
Yes.
almost across from you, yeah.
Just double check.
Cool. All right, so, anybody want to know about any of the other things going on? Okay. So, Main Street, what's new?
All right. So just on Friday, we had a session in Pawtucket, downtown Pawtucket. This one was focused on organization. This is a really important one, I think, especially for our town, because there are a lot of different ways to sort of skin this cat, like different ways to organize your Main Street program moving forward. And we already have a bunch of organizations in the town that are doing somewhat overlapping things to sort of the Main Street mission. And so we discussed, the presenter brought up and had us consider sort of the differences between like having a 501c3 model, 501c6 model, like a Chamber of Commerce type thing, or having the Main Street organization run directly out of municipal government, which apparently is a very popular strategy in like Texas and other places, where you'd have a town employee be sort of the Main Street director, and then have maybe like a board of directors that is running the show like direction wise. But so the Main Street cohort is still sort of like reviewing the details of that session and trying to figure out, you know, given the organizations already exist with the Wakefield Village Association, the Chamber, and a few other stakeholders, what makes the most sense? Like, we don't want to make a brand new organization that sort of is stepping on people's toes. And so making sure we're bringing people to the table and trying to figure out a structure that makes sense, but also has a long-term funding strategy, and there's a couple other unknowns that still need to be worked out, which were all sort of discussed at this meeting. So they gave us a lot to chew on, and honestly, this one, compared to the other meetings, I think was a lot meatier from the perspective of like, it gave us a lot of good questions to be asking ourselves and asking the town to figure out what works here, because it's not going to be like a carbon copy of what works everywhere else, not necessarily.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And does that really speak to the long-term output of what's gonna happen here as far as what organization is gonna be formed?
Well, the thing that the presenter was stressing was basically like, you can have the best ideas in the world, but if the organization, the structure that's running out those ideas is flawed, whether it be, you know, there's no succession plan, there's no long-term funding strategy, it'll just trickle, you know, it'll die on the vine, basically, right? You need to have good foundation, good soil in order for everything to flourish. So, really important stuff, and important to get right. So again, I think we know enough now that we realize that, like, okay, there's actually a really big decision, or a couple of big decisions in front of us, that we really need to make before we can truly like finalize this and move forward in a good, strong position.
Fortunately, the cohort consists of Joe Veely, who's the chamber.
Yep.
And he's very supportive of, you know, he wants to make this thing work. And then also the Wakefield Village Association has 2 people in the cohort.
Yep.
And they're in the process of they're currently a 501c6.
Yep.
And they're debating how to become a 501c3, whether to drop the 501c6, whether to become part of the chamber, how to do it. And then Josh Daly is talking to the two groups in Peacedale, a merchants group and a citizens group, both of which are, if not defunct, close to it. And he's going to try and figure out, you know, what they are interested in or whatever.
Yeah.
So the cohort is going to be discussing among themselves some specific things, which then they might take to the town and take to the, you know, they're,
The other stakeholders.
yeah, they've just had one session on this, so
Yeah,
they're,
it's great. No,
you know,
it's-
they're kind of
Yeah.
not.
Fascinating.
But the plan is probably by the time we meet again, this body, we'll probably have another cohort session, and then there will also be on the 30th, there's another Main Street session that's actually going to be held here in town.
May 30th?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was wondering when it was.
So when we get more details from Grossmart on that, we'll circulate that detail to interested parties here in town. So Susan's got a list of folks who came to the session at the Contemporary Theater.
Right.
And so all those folks are going to be informed
Right.
because they clearly showed interest in wanting to know more about the Main Street program. And I'll send
Everybody
it.
here is welcome to come.
Yeah, I'll send it
It's
to
a
Brian
Saturday,
to circulate to this group as well.
Yeah, I'm flying to California on that Saturday.
Ah, shucks.
I'll go to another one.
Yeah,
I'm
no
sorry.
worries, no worries.
All
What
right.
is their funding status?
What funding status?
I thought they said they were out of funds and were hoping for funds.
Well, that was the.
That's why he went to.
He went to
Right.
the State House.
Okay.
It's just,
And did you get those funds? Did you collect them?
It sounded
Yes.
positive.
So it sounded good. It sounded
Another
good. So,
bag.
I mean, when is the fiscal year, when does the legislative session end? Is it May
June.
or June?
Whenever they close it, it's typically in June.
Yeah,
sometime.
June.
Okay, but, so they start in January and they work roughly half the year
Yeah.
in session and then you're done. Okay, that's what I thought. So all the bills are all coming, they all get voted on at the end, you know? and-
Last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
So-
When everybody's at the beach.
Everything that we heard on Friday from the Main Street folks who were all there in person and Urso was that it went relatively well and there's positive vibes. So that's not a guarantee, but
Yeah.
it sounded positive.
Yeah, I think it was. That-
Yeah.
Tax stuff, it just.
Don't worry about the tax
It
stuff.
blew my mind,
That's
it just blew my
separate.
mind.
That's separate.
I mean, it's so,
But that's my update. I will probably have more to share next month. But there's a lot of open questions, and I am open to comments from this body or anyone else. If folks want to contact me and say, "Hey, you should think about doing it this way because X." Like, we're in a feedback gathering phase, and we're trying to figure out what makes the most sense for the town.
One thing that was discussed was a business, BID, a business investment
District.
district,
Yep.
where you define an area and then the businesses inside that area contribute annually. There's sort of a tax or a fee or something.
Mm-hmm.
They contribute to a fund, and that fund is then something they can draw on to do Main Street kind of improvements.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So it would be like a perpetual facade improvement. It would be like a perpetual sidewalk improvement. Like, instead of waiting for the feds to give funds to put those benches in, the BID would potentially just like make sure that those were upkeep would be paid for those and maintenance and sidewalk improvements, facade improvements, all that kind of stuff.
interesting.
Because funding is
Ken was doing for years.
Absolutely, yeah.
funding is an important part of keeping any organization going.
Yes.
And it's unlikely that the town is going to come up with funding for this, and it's,
Well, the concern that was brought up in the meeting with regard to municipal funding is that it's subject to like the political winds. So if, you could have a very supportive council or mayor and you've got all the money you're looking for, And then, you know, November, things change and suddenly everything dries up, and what do you do then?
Or you have another major expense the town experiences.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
and then all of a
Something
sudden,
happens.
sorry, you're at the end.
You decide stupidly to tear down your high school.
Like a back-to-back blizzard?
There you go. That's
Yeah.
National Guard.
Yeah, so no, that's that's
So
interesting.
there's basically, truly, there were pros and cons to all possible paths forward, and there's a lot to really chew on. And
Unbelievable.
yeah, so
That's great.
it was I think it was a very informative session. It gave us a lot to think about, and we don't yet have a consensus as to what we think the right path forward for the town is, and we'll continue sort of bringing in stakeholders and thinking about it until we have, I guess, more answers to sort of give recommendations to folks.
Well done, because I think
Yeah.
the way, as Joe Wheeler was telling me also, that you guys are probably unique in the fact that you meet afterwards and, you know.
Oh, the
Yes.
the Wakefield group is incredible. I can see, I've only gone to 2 sessions, but, and I'm not part of the cohort, but I can see what's going on in the other groups, and they're not as coherent as the Wakefield group.
Every single session, this has been true from session 1 all the way here, we have the highest participation.
That's what I've heard, yeah, that's what Joe said.
Every single time we show up, 4, 6 people, and most of these groups, there's 2 people, there's 3 people, right?
Amazing.
Now, to be fair, some of these groups are being represented by actual people who are like employees of their towns, or there are a couple elected officials who are represented in certain towns.
That's right.
And so there are certain strengths to that as well. It implies a certain level of commitment that maybe is, I don't know, it's a different level of commitment, but it speaks to this town that our entire volunteer cohort shows up in, you know, in strong numbers every single time, even when we're going all the way to Pawtucket, when we're going to Warwick. Like, it's not in our backyard every single time. We actually have to
Go past the tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, north of the tower.
The audacity.
Now, it was very convenient when it was in North Kingstown, right there at the Carriage Inn, because like that was
That
that
was
was
a
the
nice spot.
shortest road trip.
I like that spot.
Yeah, but for real though, one of the things, and Joe says it like every single time afterwards. He's just like, you know, we go to these things and it's like we're doing so much right here. Like some of these other towns, they're starting from scratch, and
Yeah.
they are where we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, which is what Joe will always say, and it is very, it's very heartening.
So at 70:55, we need to wrap up. We're gonna get kicked out of here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
I was basically done, so
Okay.
sorry.
Any further business? Motion to adjourn.
I move.
Moves.
Second.
I second.
9 seconds. All those in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thanks for a good meeting, everybody.
It was
Yeah.
good meeting.